Okay, we're going to start things out with one of my personal favorites from the Chrysler Corporation, the 2007 Dodge Caliber. It is the first contestant out of our two cars I will be testing today. And obviously, as you take a look at the big picture, it looks pretty bold. It's got bold looks, it's got style, it's got an aggressive attitude, it has a nice engine for how small it is, and it only gets better when you go on the inside. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the big picture with the Caliber's interior. It looks pretty stylish for how small and compact it is. Fairly cheap too. At an impressive $13,000 start price for the base, it goes all the way up to $23,000. It's definitely a bargain in its own world. Obviously, the price difference between the Caliber and the Vibe is quite different. As you can see, I got dials, and nice center console, and overall just a great looking car. Definitely one of the most spacious interiors I've ever been in. It's kind of small, but I have to say it fits pretty well in the car. Back seats too look pretty nice. Got this nice front interior just like up front to make it feel sporty, like you're kind of behind the wheel. And it's got some nice speakers down here. As far as I see, it's definitely a car for the ages to have, especially the young generation who need a nice solid car for a very low price. Obviously back here, you can see we got power locks, power doors, and seats for 3 kids to adults, so it's pretty well balanced. As we take a look into the trunk now, I have to say it looks pretty bold. Obviously there's enough spacing for your small necessary needs for groceries. A little hidden storage compartment. You can hide smaller objects, such as, let's say, your milk from the grocery store, so that way it doesn't move around. I know it's kind of small, but at least it's a piece of convenience you can rely on. Obviously, besides the extra space you can have right here and here, it's got a chill zone. That means it can refrigerate items. It's so cool. I have to say, it's definitely one of the most impressive things Chrysler Corporation's come out with in their Dodge product. All you need to do is you can hold up to 4 20-ounce bottles for all your guests in the car, and it'll be good to go. Okay. What I think of this ride personally, getting to drive it finally, is pretty rewarding actually. To get to test something different is really great. Personally, taking a ride in this car is definitely really thrill. As far as I see, with it being a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder starting out, and the model I got right here, the SXT, has a 2-liter. You can get this optional 1.8 though, but it needs to be a 5-speed manual option. Right here we're taking out the 5-speed automatic transmission for a spin, so really it handles well. For automatic, that is. I'm sure all you have thrills though for the manual, but we'll stick with the automatic for those people who have fans such as myself for them. As far as I see though, handling does pretty well. Manual does the same. Everything's basically the same in both, whether you get an automatic or manual. But right now, I would say cruising along, everyone says this wheel or the seats are so stiff, but really to me they feel really comfortable. You just got to get adjusted in. Everything's an easy grasp. Everything's an easy grab to get. Obviously, your people who are sitting with you, you'll keep your guests very entertained while taking a spin in this the whole time. Other than that, just having a solid wheels is definitely nice. I have to say though, this car overall is very well quality. I know it's behind European standards, but when you realize it's American, it's built American, it's for the American purposes really, you gotta realize it's one of the best bargains you can buy. I have to say definitely, I'm glad this car has made it in the top 10 in the past. It shows that in 1 month you can definitely make top 10 sales. But other than that, I have to say you should definitely look into considering buying this vehicle. Because really, I have nothing to really complain about here compared to most people. Okay, maybe the power is a little bit weak, but it's a 4-cylinder, it's fuel efficient. But to be comfortable while driving this is definitely a whole nother game. Because you can like pick up speed like no problem. This thing, it seems like it's definitely more than I thought it would be. Or I thought it would be about the same as our Pontiac Vibe we're to be testing. Or I should say we did test, but my God, can it go. This car definitely holds its own against the world. Hatchbacks and crossover SUVs, whatever else you want to name it. But overall, I'm very impressed with the product. Chrysler definitely knew how to make the product for Dodge proper, and especially taking it over for the Dodge Neon was probably definitely a good move. To me, the Dodge Caliber is kind of like that car that needed inspiration. I think personally, the Caliber all it needed was kind of like a rival, you know, kind of like something to take after. I think it just picked up on where the Pontiac Vibe did. That's how I saw it as, because personally, they did a really good job following what Pontiac can do, warranty coverages and everything like that, as well as gas mileage. So both of these cars that we've been testing throughout the day have been very impressive. But I mean, personally, I'm almost struggling to find something almost wrong with it. Maybe it's just because it's my first day behind this, or what's up. But I have to say, though, that I have to definitely approve this being one of the greatest new cars that have come out that's in the family region of purchasing a car for the family. Overall, this car has done its job very well. I'm impressed. I kind of wonder if anything else could compare to it. Well, we're about to take a look. Okay, we're starting off with the Pontiac Vibe now. Obviously you can see it's another great performing looking car. Obviously this thing is based off the Toyota Matrix, so both have the same output power, style, basically the same interior look, so we didn't need a Toyota Matrix to make it on test, so we're going to use the American partner in the two. Pontiac Vibe, as I was saying. It's got a 1.8 liter engine under an i4 with 126 horses. As you can see for the big picture though, I have to say this thing looks more aggressive and more spacious than the Caliber though, so quite a bit of a more punch in the appearance looking. And a lot of people say it looks like it could go a lot faster for how many horses this thing got. And we're going to take a look at the engine right now. Now as you can see, this thing's got the 16 valve VVT 4-cylinder i4. So you can see the pistons and everything right here. This battery, air filter system, etc. So overall, it's quite big and crowded for how small and compact it is. So overall though, I'm glad they got to fit all this space in such a small car to give you so much space more in return. And that's where I'd like to go next with the car. Okay, as we get to the back now, obviously you can see it gives you an amazing 18 feet of cargo space. So it's quite spacious as it comes, which makes it about the same around the Caliber. It comes with about 2 feet less of cargo space. The Caliber likes to be smaller weight and go a little bit faster, but overall the Vibe's got more speed and space. Now as you can see with the it's situated space of 54 cargo feet of space it can give up. It's really quite something else. The Dodge Caliber can do the same, but it can only get up to 48 feet of cargo space. So the Vibe has an additional extra 6 feet of cargo space for generosity. Because that was the original plan. General Motors and Toyota have teamed up to make quite a different car. And they wanted to do that really well. And you can see by how it looks, it really is something else. Taking a look at the front of this car, you really feel like that this car is more comfortable, has a lot more sense of style. To me, even with all the stuff the Caliber has offered, this is really quite nice, I have to say. Got basically everything of the necessities you really need for any kind of road trip. Even the people who ride next to me would say this is a very comfortable ride. So comfort feels really good compared to most cars I've ever rode in or drove or tested. So I really appreciate that Pontiac and Toyota have done an excellent job by not just thinking about fuel efficiency, but making the car in general look great.
Alright. Taking a drive in this thing now. Overall, pretty comfortable ride. It's got a pretty well acceleration, so it may not be exactly the fastest, but it does the job pretty well. As far as I pointed out, it has quite a bit of features for the same price as the Caliber SXT models, so really you're paying quite a bit for the same, so which is something I like. The thing that's different between the Caliber and the Vibe, this thing's got better handling out of the two. Many websites will say they have the same tires and stuff, but you really need to be behind the wheel in order to get a real feel for the car you're driving. Other than that, I really have no more complaints. Really, this car may be mine, but even new, I would have nothing really to complain about for the ride of this car. So, if I recommend it, looks like the Vibe is pulling a pretty good victory out of the two cars for satisfaction. Appearance-wise, people really like this car overall, so actually people like both cars, but for me personally, I would have to choose this car out of the two to be the best looking one out of both of them I have tested today. I think we should get on the tallying points between the Caliber and the Vibe now, shall we? We'll get on that.